and not the first fight or the second fight.
His punches.
Every time I punched him, he moved. He did something.
Would you say?
Go ahead.
Would you say that his punches was a lot more effective the first time?
No, I would say he just threw more. So this fight he threw less. He was more calmer than he was the first fight.
Right.
He was just taking his time, but I don't know if he knew what he was doing because he was just punching. It was meaningless punching.
That's what I'm saying when I tell you like the pity pat mitts.
I can't.
That's what I tell you. That pity pat, what I call the pity pats when they just throwing them together. That's what I seen in that second fight. I said, well, shit, he ain't putting nothing on the shots. He just that's what I mean. And by effective, he didn't do that the first fight. So regardless if you felt him or not, that's neither here nor there. The first fight, it was more intention on the punches. Whereas in the second one, it was almost like, from the outside looking in, it was almost like autopilot. Like they done trained to do this. Them, they're like muscle memory shots. He was just shooting like this here, but it wasn't effective. And he was leaning in a lot more that second time. Again, to me, and I think it don't matter who was training him. I ain't shooting at the trainer. I'm just saying, he absolutely made a difference to train, but it didn't work out. Is what I'm saying. It didn't work out at all. But I seen that from the onset of the second fight. I seen that he checked the differences, and I seen, like I said, I seen that you seen that lead uppercut was right there. Fuck, both uppercuts was right there. By the time he took a half a step in, you could hit him with that rib, and put him down. But what brought me to that is that old English folks say, if you bring some punching power, you done brought your own fucking judges too. And yeah, I agree with that shit. Because that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. And talking about punching power, last night when we were watching that main event, the one that after that first round, I went in our little group and I said, God damn, Jaime really taking some fucking some hammers. What do you think about that fight last night, the main event? Mangunia versus Johnson. Johnson, if someone forgot to tell Johnson he was supposed to lose.
You watched the joke?
I didn't. No, I didn't watch that fight. I didn't get a chance to watch that fight.
You didn't miss nothing. It was Munguia doing the same thing he always blocking punches with his face and trying to punch you back.
What do you think would have happened if that fight would have continued? If that busted lip would have happened, D?
He would have finished it. He would have finished it. Man, listen, that guy was my age, I think. Huh? How old was that boy, man?
36 years old.
He was pitching the pitch, man. He was pitching the pitch, bro. He made it rough for Munguia, but Munguia makes it rough on himself. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, my all-time favorite Mexican boxer is Eric Morales. So by happenstance, I got a root for this motherfucker since he's his fucking coach now. But sometimes a fighter, you ain't gonna change his inside, man. Munguia wants to fight. He's gonna come forward. Sometimes I feel like he just throws caution to the wind, man. But I'm gonna tell you,
he was getting caught with a lot of overhand rights. He was getting his body rocked. Man, I'm watching this fight and I'm thinking, man, this guy's 36 years old. I'm respecting the work he's putting in, man. Shit. Yeah.
Hey, that cut was exactly like Roberts, huh?
Yeah.
Exactly like that. That's the exact cut he had on his face. But yeah, man, you're not gonna change that fighter, man. That's who he is. I mean, you could try to sharpen him up. The best time I remember when Buddy got him, man, and turned him into gave him some lateral movement. and it was like night and day. But as soon as guy that got hit on the button, he don't know nothing but step forward, bitch. I'm trying to get you back. My gear. It's entertaining. It's entertaining. Yeah. Fight fans, you know, the people who don't appreciate boxing. That's what you get. You love them or you love these guys. I love them all for me. So I'm gonna be rooting for them. But hell, man, look, at 160 pounds, and
you think he's too small for? You think he's too small for 160?
Nah.
If he's always getting rocked like that, maybe he needs to come down a little.
It's called blocking punches with your face. It ain't got shit to do with his size, man. You can't.
But there was some hits, bro. He was getting rocked, bro.
I'm 265 pounds, probably 100 pounds overweight. Joe George is a light heavyweight, right? If Joe George hits me on the fucking button, it ain't got nothing to do with my size, man. My big ass gonna flop around if I eat that fucking punch. That's just what it is. And 160, shit, really? Man, I'm gonna be welterweight and bigger. If they hit you on the button, I don't give a fuck what size you are, man. Yeah. It's all about shifting that weight and putting it in the punch.
Well, you see that video I sent you, the little short arms.
my gears flirting with death because of his size. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, can you imagine him in the ring with a Canelo? Forget about it, man. It's gonna get rough, fast, quick, in a hurry. You know, you gotta sharpen guys up, man. You know, not to use a cliche, but the levels to this shit, man, and ability. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes ability is hidden too. Sometimes you don't see what they're doing. You know, if you don't got the right eyes. At 160 pounds, man, it's night. You can't fuck around up there, man.
Well, it was definitely a good start to a boxing weekend. So congratulations to Marlene. Congratulations to Jaime on y'all's victories last night. Well, it's another episode of Soap Boxing Podcast, man. We got Joseph George Jr. 11-0, 7 knockouts, light heavyweight. My man, how'd you get started in boxing? How old were you? How'd that happen?
Actually, I was playing basketball. I was going to Temple College in Temple, Texas, junior college. I was attempting to walk on there, and I've always seen a boxing gym on the way to school. I was like, man, let me go, let me check it out, because I've always watched Floyd too as well. Coming up, I liked how he just one punch, like how he used the jab. He can beat you off the jab and just move and make it look good. You look dumb, so I had that. That's all I used to do was just throw the jab and move. And went in the gym. I gloved up, sparred for the first time, and the rest was history. They gave me a key to the gym, and I would catch the Greyhound from here all the way to Temple. That's like a 5-6 hour ride. And I would stay in the gym a week or two at a time, training for the tournaments and getting ready for the tournaments or for one show. So that's how it all started, man. I came back, started at Savannah, where I met Coach Said, and it was from there. And here I am now.
So you're 20 years old, right? In college, playing a different sport.
I was 20.
So how did your skills translate over to boxing? Was it awkward for you? Did you find that boxing probably helped you a little bit? How was that? And how did your coach deal with that?
Actually, that's a good question. Actually, I went to Bay City. My dad's from Bay City. I grew up there for a little while. I had a cousin who boxed, Terrence Woods. You can look him up. I'm not sure how many fights he had, but he was training for basketball, and he was telling me that boxing would help. So I was like, cool. So I started going to the gym with him as well, but I couldn't jump rope for 15 minutes. I was like, no, this is dead. I can't do this. Just give me a basketball, put me on the court, and let me do my thing. So we was training, and they studied trying to get me to box, but I didn't want to. I just wanted to play ball. But it transitions so well. It's like I'm a natural at it. The hand, foot, eye coordination, man, it's amazing. It's crazy.
D, as a coach, man.
More.
D, as a coach, man, you got a basketball standout that's transitioning over to boxing. What are your thoughts on crossing over from sports?
First of all, fist fighting doesn't translate because you're an athlete. Now, if you're an athlete who can translate to fist fighting, that's something different. Give me a basketball player, maybe a soccer player, which I don't know shit about soccer till I moved to Texas and met your kind. At Texas, that soccer's big with the Latinos and shit. That's all about mobility and agility and all that, man. So I think sports specific, you need if a guy is coming from team sports, it needs to be a sport like basketball, something that's constantly moving, pivoting, changes directions at the regular time. Football players don't make good fighters, never, hardly ever. Because, they got to go balls to the wall on the downset hut. And that shit might go 30 seconds maybe, most of the time. And the power, where they stem their power from is different than us. So if you notice a football, there's always exceptions to the rule, but you know what I'm saying? Them boys, they lean into shit and use their weight, shifting it. And that's just how Joe knocked that other motherfucker out, because he was doing that. But here's the thing: give me a sport that uses agility. I guess is the best word. And if he's got it in him, we can turn him into a fighter. It's kids that are fighters, man, that you'll never know because they'll never box. They'll never, or worse, they'll never be taught right. They waste their little boxing in the gym. But I'm for any athletes, man. I tell kids, I tell a guy, even Karate Kid school, right? Like when you put them Karate Kid school, kids 8, 9 years old, they doing push-ups and shit and gotta jump up and try to spin, kick a motherfucker and shit. That's good. That's good. We gonna teach them how to fight for real at the gym, but the way they use their stuff, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Using your hips and shit. That's just good, man. Bring them to me. But transition, it can happen. It depends on the athlete, man. I don't know. Joe, was you playing sports in school or what?
Yeah. Basketball.
Basketball.
I played every sport up until high school.
Well, what would you say, as versus boxing? What sport uses the muscle memory? Let's say that uses the type of muscle memory that you utilize in boxing.
Basketball for me. Basketball.
Yeah.
You juking. You a lot of fake, constant thinking. Yeah, basketball, the perfect sport. And like you were saying, football. Yeah, they more strength, group strength.
They're more bodybuilder type of
more work to teach them. Yeah,
absolutely, man. So I'm gonna tell you something. There was about a 2-year stretch where I was out the picture with my guy, and I remember when you was lining up the fight. No, maybe I was at Athletic or something. And Quentin was like, man, this motherfucker's a fight, coach. And I was like, how the fuck I don't know this guy, man? And I had to see you fighting amateur or something, but I just can't place it. He was like, nah, coach, this fucking dude's bad, man. And I see you work over there, and I see you, putting the lights out on this guy. But you say you started at Savannah's with Said, huh? Big Said, I don't see him no more. I used to see him at all the fights, man.
Yeah. Yeah, now he chilling, man. I think he got a job and he just taking it day by day that way. I miss him too, man.
He's a hell of a coach, man, because he was always on that winning Savannah, always had Savannah winning the game fights, When when I first got involved in Houston, man, said was at Savannah's and